too. Oh. Huh? Oh, I'm gonna miss you, mate. So we're off to the last alliance. This is an event where you need to take 2 good or evil lists. I'm quite excited. I never made it last year due to f***ing myself from a dodgy KFC. I have not had a KFC since. So Rab has invited me to a kind of mystery army swap. So me, Fraser and Hamish have all decided to write lists for each other and not tell each other what we have. The only stipulation I had was that I didn't want to play Rohan.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Oh, also quite excited because it's my first Scottish event of the year and we're in June. Isn't that crazy? This time last year I've been to about 6 different events. I'm quite excited. Although I'm a bit disappointed because I'm definitely not going to win this event because of the armies, and I've technically won every event I've been to this year, so break my win streak, you know. Mad Pigeon Bridge. Oh! We're going to make it, lads. B-roll! Hello! Vlogging! It's been a while since we've checked out vlogging. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it was in my last vlog.
Or was it?
Vlogging!
So real Maelstrom deployment. Dave's deploying. Both playing new armies.
Yep. So. Actually, armies were both quite familiar with it.
Yeah.
So, game 1, capture and control versus David Reed and his beefy chiefy. Can he beat a bit at the beefy chiefy? So, for deployment, as you can see, I just decided to get stuck in. Why not with Dwarfs, because they're very slow and it's an objective-y, sidey, love the board, need to move fast type scenario. Yep, I can speak English. I decided to just come on and get stuck right in and march up with my captain to try and get in there. Unfortunately, losing the roll-off for the move, it meant Dave was able to pick the fights he wanted and get in and tie up my Dwarfs in much more favourable matchups for himself. However, I did get lucky, and in the crucial fights where he outnumbered me by 4-1, I was able to win with shielding. The Dwarfs just needed to hold out just enough time for the captain to arrive so he could start striking back. I also got really lucky. I think 2 turns Dave failed to cast Transfix with the mouth on a 3+. He did use a point of might one time just to get a kind of will point out of Dane, and luckily I dispelled it. But I think Dane decided that he felt bad for the old mouth and decided that he was going to be transfixed because he lost to a single orc for about 2 or 3 combats in a row. You know, I don't get all these people saying that Dane is fucking amazing. He's absolutely pish. He can't even beat single orcs.
I'll water the ground with their blood!
Did you? Aye.
I was marching up with my captain to try and get in the sandwich just in time, and I think this is where I made my crucial mistake. As you can see, I put my captain too close to the towery thing, which meant that I wasn't able to see all the juicy targets for the next turn. This is probably the biggest oversight I made this game. If I'd had them kind of further out, I'd have been able to much easier pick my fights and hit some juicy combats and get some traps in. Unfortunately, it meant David was able to position his force in such a way that my captain couldn't get into combat because they were all just out of line of sight behind the tower. And then because I had one priority, it meant he was able to charge in with the mouth and the orc captain, and my captain couldn't respond. He just sat there watching like a sick shit. Again, Dane whiffing his combat. Absolute piece of trash. I also think it might have been a mistake bringing Dane back to kill these 2 orcs. 1, because he failed to do it, and 2, because it meant he was back out of the action, whereas I think I should have just left him right in the middle killing things. Not that he was able to kill anything all game anyway. And this is kind of where the fucking mouth came online. The mouth, having whiffed all his magic all game, decided that he was going to be just turn into a combat monster. He was absolutely destroying my dwarfs, killing 2 every turn. Even the orc captain was killing 2 dwarfs a turn, and it just meant that I broke so much faster than I was aiming to. Like, my plan had been to sandwich his army, get the traps, kill his army really fast before the beefy chiefy got over. You can see him menacingly walking over towards my army, and I was getting more and more terrified, and I just didn't have the numbers to pull off the traps that I needed to kill him fast enough. Mainly because Dane decided to lose every single combat in this game, and the mouth was just eating things for breakfast.
Kill Beth again. He's made up for his misdemeanours with the magic.
He's chopping cunts.
Pretty tasty combat.
As you can see, Dane is still fighting this single orc here. Just absolute travesty, man. Like, I just can't even how bad Dane was this game. Just an absolute sack of shit. Beefy Chiefy got in and started hurling dwarfs about before moving on to rend my captain to death. If I managed to win priority, I probably would have moved my captain away into the top left table quarter, but unfortunately he got ran down by the chiefy and absolutely munched. On the other side of the board there were some dwarfs and orcs just kind of skirmishing in the 2 table quarters that we were trying to capture. These would actually end up deciding the game. And as you can see, all the orcs had ran. They all failed the courage test and ran away. That meant my 2 dwarfs had captured my bottom right table quarter, and one of them could easily get into this top table quarter and get me 2 sides, a whole full half of the board.
So very last turn. It's very on a knife edge, I think. We're thinking.
A couple of really key courage tests.
Yeah. If these 2 pass, I could win. But
Potentially.
if Dave, you get double my models, you would then win again.
I think it could end up being a draw, to be honest. If I get double models in this one and you pass both the courage tests,
Yeah.
I think it's a draw.
My luck with the courage
There's
test.
not going to be much in it one way, either way.
Yeah.
Also need to make sure that guy can get to the other half.
Oh, that's a good
We've not
point.
seen that
Yeah,
either,
we've
but
not. Yeah.
We'll let you take your courage test and
We'll
see
see.
how it goes, man.
Oh, shall we do that on the camera?
I think we should do that on the camera.
Oh no! Right.
Which one first? The one that's slightly further back first.
He's alright. Come on, son.
Oh, you won.
Oh no!
Well, we'll check to see if we could have got in.
Yeah, let's see.
So we need to be 29 inches away. Yeah, only just.
Oh no!
Like, literally. In fact, I think it might be that if he's I don't know if it's straddling is the majority or if it's you choose.
I don't know.
But one way or another, he's run away. But
Woo! Why did I do that one first?
I mean, it wouldn't matter as long as one of them ran. You can't get based.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Oh well. Dane's been absolute fucking shit.
One for breaking.
Oh,
Another one for breaking.
Oh.
Both leaders are fine.
yeah.
Nobody gets that quarter at all.
No.
Your one dwarf gets you that quarter for 2.
Yep.
My one orc that I left within 24 hopefully gets me that one.
Fucking orcs are big 24.
For 2.
I can't believe that guy ran.
And then this one, let's just double check I have double.
I had both.
You've got 4, then I've got 1, 2, 3,
that's
4,
right, one
5,
double.
6, 7, 8, 12. So
you get
I get
one.
that one for 2 as well.
Oh, you get 2.
You get 2 if it's double. We'll just double check that that's the case, but I'm fairly sure.
There we go.
5-3.
Good game.
Man.
That was good fun.
Close. If that guy had stuck about, he goes in the air and then it's
That
fine.
would have been a draw.
That's great courage for it, shut by the way.
That would have been a draw.
So yeah, 5-3 loss, but I'm taking that. That was absolutely a fantastic game. It reminded me why I love coming to events and playing games, because it's just been so long since I've managed to do it. A nice wee game 1 to warm the old cockles and get you back into things. Fantastic. Then, on to game 2, up against Mr. Paints in a 4-up himself, Mr. Kami, and his absolute horde of orcs. Look at that. I don't think I could even count that high. That is an incredible amount of orcs. All jokes aside, we were playing Destroy the Supplies, and his army is absolutely terrifying. He has Azog and Bolg at 550 points. This means he doesn't have many models, but oh my god, those heroes are so scary. I decided to centre my army on these 2 objectives on the left, as the one in the swamp we decided was like a slow ground, which meant it would be really good against the wargs. The one on the right I decided I was just going to go up, but fortunately for me, the crossbows were absolutely and they were sniping any orcs that got too close to that objective. Bolg was obviously a bit slower as he wasn't on a ward, but he was menacingly marching up the table, so I decided I had to try and deal with Azog before Bolg got in, but unfortunately Cammy was smart enough to hold Azog back on the flank here, giving Bolg a bit of time to catch up. Unfortunately, this did mean my crossbows got a few more shots in and I was able to kill off a couple more wargs before he finally decided to go absolutely balls deep into my lines. However, while he was going balls deep into my lines, I'd gone for a wee sneaky flank attack with my captain and a couple of boys, attack his hunter orcs with bows. I then won priority, but he called a move with Azog. This meant he was able to charge into my dwarf lines and get some wargs round into Dane to pin him in place. However, as I had one priority on the right, it meant my captain was able to make an absolute dash for his objectives, and my little dwarf boys were here to hold up his little archer boys in the middle. This point here, I think I played it wrong. What I should have done was swarm Azog with enough bodies that he wouldn't be able to kill them all in a single combat, but unfortunately I didn't think that far ahead, which meant he was able to call a heroic combat and jump into Dane. However, I was hoping Dane would be able to survive as I decided to strike in anticipation of the combat from Azog. And Azog decided to just go balls deep into Dane anyway, just for the lols, praying that I'd roll a measly 1 on my strike, meaning our fight value would tie. But unfortunately I got enough to get up to fight 10. This meant I was able to beat Azog with the 6. And even I think I did a couple of wee wounds on, but they were saved with all the fate. Next turn.
Any heroics? Strike?
Or second point of the wards might strike.
I'll strike with Dane.
I'll strike up to 10.
9.
Shall we do that?
Aye, on you go. Nah, let's do it. Oh. Well, I'll do Dane. Fuck, I wasted that 6. Oh. Right, I need to put this down.
I'll go.
Yeah.
6. I'll make that up.
So you win.
So that is all of the wards might gone
Right.
and Azog's fate. Now, exclusively going on Dane. First shot in the yeah, no in the way.
Okay.
And you're with him. This is the only time he's going to do something.
3 ones, come on.
Right, no, you fate them first.
Oh, okay.
You fate them and then abject through fate. Right.
I think. You might want to check that, I don't actually know.
John, not knowing his own army.
It's not my army! It's Fraser's army. Danish.
Three fate. You wouldn't obviously.
Point of mate.
One, so you're going to make one, so you pass them, there you go. Still alive!
So yeah, Azog managed to win Dane 3 times and had the potential to do between 3 and 9 wins to him with the stone flail, but fortunately with a point of might I was able to pass all 3 of my fate, which completely negated that. Thank fucking Christ, Dane has actually done something for a change. That was probably the absolute massive moment of the game. If he'd been able to kill Dane and then quarter himself, he would have won the game. But unfortunately, with my shields, I'm able to shield, and I was able to stall the game out a little bit, which meant I was able to get 2 of the back objectives with my captain before quartering him and ending the game.
So 2 victory points for each supplies that you've destroyed. You've destroyed 4, I've destroyed 0. 1 victory point for causing a wound to the leader, 2 if you've killed them. We haven't done that either of us. As a pass with fate. 2 victory points for breaking me, and I haven't broken you. And 2 victory points for having a banner, and I don't. So it is an 8-0 victory to you.
Did you not get in? Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't get to. Thank you very much. Now to Longshanks.
Speaking of Longshanks, Connor kindly shows me the new message that he gets whenever he tries to log into Longshanks and submit results. Anyway, on to lunch. And unfortunately, I do like to get interviews with other players and talk to people and stuff during the game 2, after game 2 during lunch break. But unfortunately, Because my camera is now getting to the older stage of its life, it means that it runs out of battery after 2 games, so I need to just sit and charge it over the lunch break. So next year what I'm going to do is bring a separate camera just to like do interviews and stuff, because I think that's one of my favourite bits from my other vlogs is when I'm chatting to everyone and finding out how everyone else's games got on.
Just gonna make it awkward, mate. Make it awkward.
Alright, Shagger.
What are you thinking now? Are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm gonna...
Just try hard, Phil.
Where's my Dragon Emperor? Where's the Dragon Emperor?
So, on to game 3 of 4. It was a modified heirloom scenario. I'm not going to bother explaining it because I don't think I even understand what we were doing. I thought it'd be far easier for you if I just put a screenshot here and you can have a wee read. And as you can see, I am playing Rohan, which was one of the only stipulations I had was not to play this. I did confront them about this in the Discord, but it turns out that they didn't even remember me saying this. So I would do want to point out that it wasn't malicious, it was just pure incompetence. So this heirlooms has 6 diggable objectives.
So I say thank you, Rab, for giving me an army that has to dismount to pick up objectives with like 4 models. Really well thought out list for me there, Rab.
So I just decided to just run up the board and charge at him. I'm just going to have fun killing as much Minister lads as I can. Didn't turn out to be very many at all, but you know, it was still fun. Dismounted 2 Royal Guard and Merry to get my back 3 heirlooms, or to attempt to dig them up, and luckily I got pretty much all of them in turn 1, which was fantastic. Feeling pretty good about this, but then his Citadel Guard on horse decided to snipe Merry in his dome, fucking instant killing him. Failed both my fate and he just died. Dropping my heirloom on the floor there. This meant Eowyn was a bit fucking sad that her wee pal was dead, so she decided just to sod it and go charge the cav and just have a wee battle by herself on the right flank. Pretty sad and tragic, to be honest. I then charged in and called death, and I did striking or combating depending on the fight values of things, and it just went, it went so badly. I think everyone lost their horse and or took wounds, and Eomer even had to use like three fate to save his horse. It was just an absolute shagging. Quite possibly one of the shortest games I've ever played. As you can see, everyone's just dead. Huron came over and chopped Theoden's head off, and then a bunch of guys in Boromir did manage to bring Eomer down. Luckily, Eomer did manage to throw a spear into Boromir's horse before he died. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, it was still really good fun because it was just hilarious. I haven't laughed that much in a long time. Even watching the videos back, just watching how bad it went was just what a fun game. So the eagle-eyed among you will notice that I am not playing with full 550 points this game, and the reason for that will become apparent later on. Luckily though, I did manage to still have 2 of the objective or heirloomy things, so it meant I was only beaten by I think 2 VPs, despite the fact that he quartered me in about 2 turns. But with the game taking absolutely no time at all, it meant I had time to go about and pester people while they were playing their games.
Are you putting that Dwarfs in?
Trying to find it, aye.
There's no more milk coming.
Just one back.
Big Cardiff could be what you need.
Does an orc suck him off, or does he suck an orc off?
Huh? He sucks an orc off.
He sucks an orc off.
And then the Shadow Lord can
the
suck
orc
him off.
dies, is it?
Because he gets his spirit.
What one does that?
That was just a bit.
He's a wench.
We're moving on to game 4 against Rab himself. And it was quite funny. I was using the army he'd given me, and he was using the army I'd given him. And luck would have it, we were also playing the best scenario in the game, Fog of War. So it was going to be an absolute class game. The list I'd given Rab was a kind of themed list around the retaking of Caer Andros with Faramir, Huron and Kirian. A kind of what if kind of scenario in the fourth age. you know, they go try and take it back. Andros was in the Siege of Gondor book, and it was always one of the scenarios that I really wanted to play, but I just never got around to it, sadly. I also think Faramir would have been better on horse with a lance, but unfortunately I just don't have that model, so sorry about that, Rab. So I decided to pick Kyrian as my target to kill, and as Rab had deployed him on this hill terrain, I decided I would make that my target for the terrain and just charge at him and hope for the best. I did throw a wee cheeky rider over on the right there just as a kind of a wee bluff. I then got extremely lucky with shooting. I don't think Rab was able to wound or kill any of my horses, which was... No, wait, no, he did. He took a wound off Gamling, and Gamling used his fate, which may or may not come back to bite me in the ass. Foreshadowing, blah 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 blah. So I think I won the roll-off here, and I think I won a lot of roll-offs this game, so sorry about that, Rab. And I decided just to go right in and just charge and hopefully get some traps against the wall here. I called Death, and I combated with Theoden, Aylmer.
Just found out last game, I played a whole captain down.
Do you want to go through the list you gave me?
It's not on the list.
That's the list you gave me.
That's it. What's different?
Bring him up here. Unless you want to move over there.
You also noticed that I've got an extra captain model in here with heavy armour and a shield. Rab informed me that I should have been using him last game, but I hadn't because I was an idiot. I didn't see it written on the list, and I just assumed that the captain was in the box for captain reasons. I don't know, I didn't really, it was just a bit of a silly on my part. Silly me. Either way, Rab was very kind and let me bring on my captain kind of up the board and not right back at the start. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I combated with everyone at this point. Can't see anywhere where the fight would be. Actually, no, I struck with Aylmer, who was fighting Kyrian. So I think my captain's combat went off first, and he then charged into Huron to stop Huron getting his combat off. And luckily, the captain beat Huron in a combat. I'm not sure how that happened, just bad dice. The captain was able to kill Huron's horse, which was a nice wee saver, means he won't get his double attacks. Yeah, thinking about it, I should have probably hit Huron, but oh well. Dernhelm then lost to 2 warriors, and the warrior absolutely chibbed her horse up, so she was dismounted. I think she also took a wound from one of the other soldiers as well. I can't exactly remember, but I remember her being really weak. Aylmer then lost to Kyrian. You can see a pattern here. And Kyrian, I think, stabbed his horse, but luckily I used most of his fate to save the horse. And luckily, at least Theoden and the normal riders showed up. They were the ones that did the work and killed a lot of boys, which was nice. I then lost priority and the subsequent roll-off, which meant Kyrian was able to run away and he was able to kind of lock up most of my soldiers. He didn't quite have enough models to get Gamling and Aylmer here, so I was able to put Aylmer through into Kyrian and Gamling into Huron. And this is where I completely forgot that Gamling only had 1 wound left, and it kinda was a big stupid, to be honest. I was hoping I'd be able to kill all these off just before his reinforcements arrived. You can see in the top right that my little cav boy is taking Faramir on a big warband on a wee wild goose chase around these stones, which was a massive help. It really did stop me getting absolutely bummed this game, because I think if he'd had a lot more bodies, I would have been absolutely minced. So Huron then won the combat and melted Gamling, chopped him in half, thus reducing me to no banner and no might getting back, which was just, honestly, John, what the hell were you thinking? He also managed to kill the Royal Guard as well, so he was able to move over and go for Theoden. He was a bit hesitant charging Aylmer, as Aylmer had struck, which is totally understandable. But then, again, Rab's dice betrayed him, and Theoden cut Huron down and used his combat to move across into Kyrian as well, and my wee rider moved to try and save Aelwyn from getting absolutely chimped by these cav here. Aylmer and Theoden then cut Kyrian down, which was fantastic as he was my target. The single rider killed the boy that was trapping Aelwyn, and she managed to win her combat as well with some lucky dice. and killed a horse of one of the riders. And then won another roll off, which was great for the move.
How you feeling? I think I got very lucky with that roll off. Actually, very lucky with a lot of roll offs. I think you've won one. Yeah.
That's right, Rohan. You win roll off.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do see that if you win the roll offs with Rohan. It's a different game.
I made a mistake here. I threw at one of my other riders to kind of move back to my half of the board, as my camera hasn't really got it, but there are some Citadel Guard in the wood in that kind of ruin there, and I thought he's going to move them into my half and get my objective, so I decided to send the rider back to try and stop them. I should have probably just kept the rider, as one extra body here would have been absolutely fantastic, and contesting the VP at the back wasn't really exactly going to work out that well. It also meant Rab was able to take some shots at him as he was out of combat.
One shot, one opportunity. Let's see. Oh no, he hits. He goes down. Fives out. Longbow. Oh! Is that Berrigon? Did you give me Berrigon?
Eowyn then got munched by the knight and a little boy as I couldn't roll above a 2. And Theoden had to use all his fate and he still fucking failed. And he's down to 1 wound from these 2 little soldiers that are attacking him. Just unbelievable. Luckily though, raging Eomer decided it was close enough to the Minister boy to charge him and save Theoden from the single little Gondorian man. As knowing my luck, the Gondorian man would have absolutely decked my leader. As you can see, Eomer killed him and then moved on to kill more. I charged my captain and my rider across, and Theoden was hiding up on this rock back here. I decided, that was my objective. I'm going to leave Theoden on it, and he's going to hide there with his 1 wound. And I'm going to try and charge these cavalry across and just die, and then the game will end. And hopefully that means that I win. I wasn't feeling like I was winning at this point because my models were all dead. He still had Faramir and a massive warband. All my heroes were out of might and resources, so it didn't look too good for me. Then I didn't really get much footage here because we were kind of engrossed in the game and the game just wouldn't end. We could not pull a 1 or a 2. It meant I had time to get my captain and some guys back to what I thought was his terrain objective and just sit on it. And luckily the game finally ended and we were able to reveal the results. Oh, drum roll please.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, have, should be fully within the terrain, I believe the rules say. I believe that was half in there. I'll be nice. Yeah. You had the movement to move on, so yeah. What should we reveal our things?
I wanted to kill gambling.
Ah, bastard.
Protect Kirian.
Ah.
And capture the statues.
So that's half.
No points for Kirian. 5. 3 points for killing gambling.
Right.
Terrain piece.
You broke me as well. I think that's 1 each.
No points for that then.
How?
1 point more models. You get 9, I get 3. They couldn't quite get them times. So that's
I think you had enough movement to put 2 in.
It should have been.
You had more.
He should have been on it. So
I think that was just you being a bit of a fanny. So I'll give you that.
stretch over there.
It's a late in the day. Okay.
And a point for breaking as well.
Cool. Mine was defend Aylmer, so I get 3. It was kill Kirian, I'm afraid. And it was that terrain piece. That was a feint.
And you broke me as well. 10, 5,
Yeah. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. Is that right?
10, 5 for you.
Oh, I'll just point out, Theoden also failed with one of his courage checks and I had to use all his will for him to stay in the boat. Forgot about that. So yeah, what I thought was a defeat was a victory. That's why Fog of War is the best scenario, because you never know. You never know right until the last minute. Like, if Theoden had rolled one less on his dice, he would have been off the board, and it would have meant he would have got the points for that. I'm trying to do the maths in my head right now. So yeah, I can see how Riders of Theoden is a really strong list. If you win the prios and you get really lucky with the roll-offs, like, you just kill stuff. It's quite terrifying, to be honest. I've never really struggled against it, because when I play against it, I usually have my spam fight 5, fight 6 elves. So I usually able to shoot them out, and then, you know, I've got fight 6 where I need it. So I've never really felt the full force of a Riders of Theoden army, but using it today, I really could see the power of it. But yeah, absolutely fantastic game against Rab, of course, always good fun. Just hit the 1,000 subs, congratulations. I think I've got an old chocolate bar sitting around somewhere that you might want to eat. But yeah, always a fun game, and it's, as much as I moaned and bitched about having to play Rohan, I did have a good fun, so, you know, shut your hole, John.
So, first, second and third, in order to choose first, our champion, David Reid.
John, do that in the back of the
Get 2 points. Second place, Jamie Baxter. Third place, since he used my army, I'll take it. Ian Rare.
Oh, you're on my list.
And with that, another year of Last Alliance is over. Before we go, just a couple other prizes. We got Alex Berdas getting the wooden spoon, Andrew Stone getting most sporting, and Johnny Stanfield winning best painted. Oh, and I won a sword in the raffle. How class is that? And of course, thank you to Mr. Little for another lovely run event. And I will now leave you with all the nice pictures of the lovely armies while I do my usual YouTube spiel. Thank you to my wonderful shaggers who support the channel, and for those who watched this far, absolutely lovely, thank you very much. You're all heroes of legend. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to give my bell a good old ring. And cheers to Mr. Little for another lovely event. And I will now leave you some shots of all the art. Bucky, shut the fuck up! Oh, man. I'm trying to record here.
Right, this is the last thing we should be doing on a street. You playing with a big toy sword.
Available at raptasticpaints.com.
The other list I packed was a kind of mini Suckfest list that I wanted to try out, and according to Hamish it was an absolute pile of shite, so I do apologise about that. I genuinely thought Gorbag had March, and the Shadow Lord would be enough to stop you getting shot to shit, but I suppose when you come up against pirates with like a million thrown weapons, it's not going to be fun if you don't have March.
Oh my god.
I'm not bothered doing that. I'll stand still.
You gonna come fight me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. Will your cameras off next?
Oh, it's fine.
Or is that just a screen protector on it? Hello. I can see the internet.
So we're off to. You miss me, mate? Hmm? 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 Hmm?